2 years ago this past Friday when Utah Jazz player Rudy Gobert shortly mocked COVID by touching all the microphones around him at a press conference, later testing positive and leading to a league-wide shutdown over COVID. It is 2 years later. How has the league bounced back, and how are the Utah Jazz now stepping in to help Ukrainian refugees? Let's talk about it with the owner of the Jazz, Ryan Smith, the founder of Qualtrics as well. Ryan, good to see you. Josh Schafer here with this conversation as well. Tell us about this partnership with Airbnb and what made you get involved to step up and help Ukrainian refugees.
Hey, thanks, guys. It's good to be on. Look, I think just like everyone else, we're sitting here going, hey, look, how do we actually help out? And sometimes when you're watching this from the other side of the world, it feels like you're a little bit helpless. But I was with Joe, one of the founders of Airbnb, and he was explaining Airbnb.org and how they were matching up, potential hosts with refugees. We have an office at Qualtrics in Krakow, Poland, and we've been able to see like the massive effort that everyone's putting in. And we said, oh my gosh, this technology platform is perfect for this, where people can raise their hand and say, hey, we want to bring people in. And they're working with a bunch of different organizations to match up refugees with these hosts. And so we said, hey, how do we jump involved? And, I was talking to Joe on a Saturday. By Thursday, we had 32,000 nights that were donated just to start. And then we opened it up in the arena and, open up to our fans to help out as well.
Ryan, what was the response like from the fans? And then also, it's been about a week now. Do you know if these refugees have started to use those nights and are staying in those Airbnbs?
Yeah, the response has been great. There's so many people doing so many different things that, I think time is of the essence here. It's working. It's definitely working through Airbnb.org. And I encourage everyone, whether it's just donating one night, 2 nights, or if you can get some of your employee base or the groups that you work with, and start some sort of campaign. It's something you can do right now. It's available, and we're just matching people up. So it's definitely working.
More than 2.3 million Ukrainians have fled the Russian invasion. Ryan, got to ask you about the aforementioned league-wide shutdown 2 years ago this past Friday. Rudy Gobert, in part, of course, prompted that. How well do you think the league has bounced back?
Well, I think it was it's been an unfortunate pandemic. I think everyone's had to kind of go through it in their own little way. I wasn't actually part of the ownership of the NBA at the time. We're going into our second season, so we came in right after that. But even from an outsider, a fan standpoint, I think the league, helped probably save a lot of lives. When the league shut down, it seemed like the world kind of started moving in direction. Okay, hey, wow, we need to make some serious adjustments. It's been hard for the NBA, just like most sports organizations as well. Canceled games, fans, as well as players. And it's definitely come into this season. We as a team, we're definitely hit hard during January. But I think that, trying to keep safety first while also giving, a fan base and people something to look forward to. I think the league's done a fantastic job. And I think that we've taken a lot from them in tech. I know Qualtrics and other organizations have leaned on the league to say, hey, how are you doing this? We're sharing best practices. But, now as it looks like we're coming out of this a little bit, there's not a day that goes by where I don't see someone that says, wow, that was just such a fun experience the other night. I just needed to get out. I needed to do something. I needed something to cheer for. And so I think we're a big part of people's lives. And it's pretty cool to have that kind of impact or be on that platform.
Ryan, do you feel like the league is back to pre-pandemic levels when it comes to things like attendance? I know specifically in Utah, it seems like you guys are having a sellout pretty much every night. How have you been able to accomplish that and kind of keep fans coming back? Because I know that hasn't been the case necessarily league-wide.
Yeah, I think it's been a hard year. I'll be honest. We just lifted, I think at the beginning of this month, the mask mandate, where people can come in. I think health has been, and I'm proud of the league, health and safety has been the number one priority for everyone. And it's hard to throttle up and down attendance and tickets, and logistically it's pretty difficult. But I think everyone's just working through it together. It's been there's been so much focus on health and safety, and then to be able to come out of it, we're super fortunate in Utah. We've got one of the fastest growing states, if not the fastest growing state in the U.S. And we've got a pretty global fan base that people are always excited to come in, and we do sell out. And so it's been fortunate that we've been able to bounce back. But we're still kind of getting the groove. I was at All-Star Game in Cleveland this year, and it was almost there, but it seemed like it was the first time when we were really coming together. We're hosting it next year in Utah, so hopefully everything will be back to normal. Knock on wood, and we hope everyone comes to Utah.
We will be there, sir. Promise you that. But one unresolved question about COVID in the league is the status of Kyrie Irving, Brooklyn Nets. Of course, he can now go to a game without wearing a mask, sit courtside, walk up and hug his teammates afterwards, but he cannot play in a game, although visiting players can come to games with the same unvaccinated status. What are your thoughts on that rather absurd situation?
Look, I've watched it. Every state's had their own rules, and I saw that. I definitely saw that the other night, and it's hard. I think everyone's trying their hardest, and it's definitely above my pay grade on what's going on between Brooklyn and New York. But I just hope that we get back to normal as soon as we can, so that we can just get back and start entertaining the world as much as we can. So I wish him the best of luck and hope everyone can come back healthy. It's not just Kyrie, but everyone. We saw more players go into protocol, and we gotta get back.